Savage here with my new favorite automobile. This is the Jaguar F-Type. And, you know, if you have any kind of automotive history, you remember the E-Type Jaguar was this long, lean thing with a giant hood and this swept back into the car. Looked great. That was in the 60s. Here we are, 40-some years later, and Jaguar has come up with a beautiful two-seat car that has a 495 horsepower V8 engine in it and starts at $92,000, and I think when we look at it you'll agree this is a beautiful car. Inside the F-Type, got a flat bottom steering wheel, makes it a little easier to get in and out. Looks a little racier too. Very nice, easy dash gauges here. You got your touch screen as most cars do now. We've got this kind of special metal that they say that the divers use on their equipment. It gives you a little different color on the start-stop button, and we got paddle shifters right here so we can go up and down and make the exhaust go crazy back here, which is a lot of fun. Nice thing here, we got a little push button open for the glove box. Over here on the doors, on both doors, which is kind of unique, is not only the electric seat buttons, one of which will push the lumbar support out, but the little round knob over here adjusts the side bolsters, and then we have 3 memory settings both on the driver's and the passenger seat. One thing that I know a lot of the ladies like when they're sitting in the other seat is this thing actually comes up and down a little so you don't feel like you're sitting way down in the car. Also here there's a little button in front here. You pull this back to go into drive, you push it forward to go into reverse, which seems a little bit the opposite of what it should be to me. Push button for park. This is your dynamic setting, so you can set the suspension and a variety of things the way you want it to be. This lights up the old exhaust system. When I push that on, this thing burbles and howls a whole lot better than it did before. You know, your traction control, eco button if you want to save a lot of gas, which I'm thinking you got this, you're probably just having a good time with it. And then this raises and lowers your little wing in the back. This is the top button. This is your radio button. Another thing that I think is a little bit unusual. This is where I'm adjusting my volume over here. I also can do it on the hub of the steering wheel. Here we're at Lindale Farms, just outside of Milwaukee, where we're going to take the car for a little ride today. Lindale Farms used to be a racetrack, so the subdivision is built on an old racetrack here. This is where the Jaguars used to race back in the 50s and early 60s. Pretty nice smooth road here. This of course has a very stiff sports car type ride. You can adjust some of these settings here, as you know, there's the dynamic control we have. But you can see we got some little teeny sun visors here. You know, they're hardly there, but they're better than nothing. But this one's $103,000 after all the goodies are added onto this thing, so you kind of like that, maybe a little more sun visor. But like I say, sporty ride. This is a sports car. It's got lots of power. When we, you know, blast out of the corner, of course the exhaust sounds fantastic, and this thing is a little rocket. Super heavy handling car. I would say it's a pretty moderate weight to the wheel, but very responsive. Maybe not quite like a BMW, and maybe not quite like a Porsche, but most of the time, even if you're buying a sports car like this, you're driving on normal roads, you're not racing. So it's certainly easy to drive and handles great. Sticks in the corners. This has got 20-inch tires on it. The 18s are standard on the car, and it's a great road car, and it's a great racer if you get the chance to take it off onto the track. So that's a look at the F-Type. Fast car, beautiful car, $100,000 car. They do have a V6 that you can get into it if you need to go down to $60,000 to $70,000. But I think most people who want something like this really enjoy the V8 and the power and the noise that that thing makes. See the rest of my reviews at savageonwheels.com.